The Rabies Virus by Nathan Berger. Rabies is 100% preventable and avoidable, yet 70,000 people a year are dying. So why are people dying, and what is being done to stop this issue? What is rabies? The first written record of rabies, or rabies lyssavirus, caused death in dogs and humans, is found in Mosaic Esmuna Code of Babylon in 2300 BC, where Babylonians had to pay a fine if their dog transmitted rabies to another person. Rabies belongs to the mononegavirals group, but within that group, viruses with a distinct bullet shape like rabies are classified in the Rhabdoviridae family. The rabies virus is bullet-shaped with 10 nanometer spike-like glycoprotein peplomeres covering the surface. It's composed of a non-segmented strand of RNA encased in nucleoprotein/nucleocapsid. It does have an outer envelope. The virus is about 180 nanometers long and 75 nanometers wide. The rabies virus wants to attack the nerve cells, the smallest part of our central nervous systems. For animals, rabies virus causes neurological symptoms including aggression, which may lead to biting and transmission via saliva. How does the virus spread and replicate? The virus is transmitted through a bite of an infected animal, any penetration of the skin by the teeth. It can be spread by a scratch or a lick, but this is extremely unlikely. The virus may enter the peripheral nervous system directly or may replicate in muscle tissue after entering the host. Humans cannot transmit rabies. How does the virus spread and replicate? It's a very similar process to other negative-stranded RNA viruses. It uses the lytic replication cycle. It starts by the envelope fusing to the host cell. Then the envelope breaks off and the RNA gets translated into individual viral proteins. How does the virus spread and replicate? Rabies is most commonly found in wild animals like bats, raccoons, skunks, and foxes, although any mammal can get rabies. Any animal that's infected can also transmit the virus by biting or scratching and licking. How many people and animals does it affect? Rabies is more common in wild animals because they can't get vaccinated. In the United States, rabies is very rare because domesticated dogs started getting vaccinated for rabies in 1947. And this also brought the amount of human infections down. But all around the world, it kills about 70,000 people a year, and 40% of them are children. This is also because rabies is 100% preventable with the right medication, but not everywhere in the world has access to it. What is the current cure? There are two things that we do to prevent rabies. The biggest one is dog vaccination. The disease is spread primarily through the saliva of infected dogs. One dog gets it from another dog and eventually makes its way to a human. A person who is exposed to rabies also has to get the vaccine. The rabies vaccine is 4 shots plus the immunoglobulin shots that help your body fight off the virus quicker. The number of immunoglobulin shots varies on the weight of the person. The more you weigh, the more shots you have to get. The vaccines are normal shots that go into your arm, but the immunoglobulin shots have to go deeper into your muscle. I had to get 6 immunoglobulin shots all in my butt, and it was very painful. So what? Poverty does play a huge role in solving rabies. The irony is that rabies is 100% preventable. People shouldn't be dying at all, says veterinary infectious disease expert Guy Palmer. This is true. It is 100% preventable, but 70,000 people a year are still dying. This is because a lack of international commitment. Eliminating it meets all the criteria for a global health priority. Is epidemiologically and logistically feasible, cost-effective, and socially equitable. Starting in 2003, there have been programs that go into countries where rabies is an issue and vaccinate dogs. Some programs can vaccinate as many as 1,000 dogs a day. For one program in Tasmania, vaccinating 70% of the dogs in the region broke the route of transmission from dogs to humans. The number of deaths per year in that area went down from 50 a year to practically 0. Rabies is a virus transmitted through an animal that is infected. It is 100% fatal if a human gets it, but also 100% preventable, although very painful. With new projects and programs being put in place, the goal becomes to help countries who suffer from rabies the most get the help they need. Rabies is not a hard issue to solve, but the funding and research can be hard for some governments to manage.